Welcome, folks, to another episode of Item 9 Gaming Reviews. I'm your host, Gabe Lashley. Joined with me this time on the couch is Graham, the Jumpman Jordan.
What's going on? What's up, everybody?
And I'll be very happy to announce for you folks that we will be taking a look today at the newest installment in the Far Cry franchise. That's right, Far Cry 6. This time the game is being led by the development team at Ubisoft Toronto. So shout out to those guys for doing such an amazing job on the game.
Don't know.
We've been playing the game for about a week now. This code has been provided to us by Ubisoft Canada. So thank you very much for that.
Big ups.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying this game. I've been waiting to talk about it with Graham for a while now. And we're here to give you guys our review, a little bit about it. We're going to be doing a general overview of the game, what we liked, what we didn't like. And then we're going to get into the good stuff, the stuff that you came here to see, the story, the gameplay, the graphics. Going to make sure you know where to spend grandma's birthday money,
exactly.
Huh? We don't want you buying,
you know?
We don't want you buying those
it's
other
the
games.
Inside intel.
Metroid Dread, forget about it.
Spend
your money here. We know what to do. All right, guys, but with that being said, we're going to tell you what Far Cry 6 is all about. As Dani Rojas, you will help stoke the fires of revolution through guerrilla warfare on the island of Yara. From verdant jungles to the urban streets of the capital city, Esperanza, you will use a powerful array of weapons and vehicles to build a network of allies to fight alongside you, including Fangs for hire like Chorizo, the dangerously distracting wiener dog. And as President Castillo prepares his son Diego to succeed him, you will do all that you can to ensure his plans do not come to fruition.
No.
And, well, what's Far Cry without having lots of bases and outposts to liberate, taking them down either stealth-wise or going out with a full frontal assault? And that's what Far Cry 6 really brings to the table. It's your standard issue Far Cry game. You've got yourself a big map, of course, to explore. The biggest, I think, in any franchise, any of the titles in the franchise. And I think, to be honest, one of the most compelling villains we've seen in any game so far from Far Cry, played by Giancarlo Esposito.
Hey, Moff Gideon himself.
Might have seen him in films such as Breaking Bad. That's not a film, but he was Gustavo Fring.
It's a miniseries.
It's a
miniseries.
He was in that. I don't know what else he was in, but he is the bad guy on the screen right now.
Yeah.
If you don't have this guy as a bad guy in your film, then you might as well just have two good guys in your film.
Pack it up.
Yeah.
Might as well just put out Free Guy again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so basically, I enjoyed playing this game. I enjoyed doing the run-of-the-mill, taking down bases and liberating outposts. And this time, they throw in some gear systems and heavy RPG elements that they tried to introduce in New Dawn, but here it's really front and center. But what did you think, Graham?
I don't know. Same with you. I'm having a lot of fun playing Far Cry 6. Definitely exploring Yara has been great. Taking on all sorts of underlings and allying up with different people in different provinces has been lots of fun too. Just playing the standard Far Cry sort of experience. I'm going around taking out as many of these checkpoints as I can, trying to liberate as much as Yara as possible, and it's been really good. The gear system, as you mentioned before, as upfront it is, doesn't feel as integral or as necessary once you hit a certain point. So that feels good, where I can kind of just set these things aside and just really focus on banging out this story, which it is a great one. So I've really been enjoying this so far.
Yeah, and the story, of course. We have ourselves here the ruthless dictator Anthony Castillo. He has got himself controlling the island of Yara with an iron fist. He controls the main export of the tobacco cancer treatment that they have created, Viviro, using Yaran tobacco and fertilizer, this red fertilizer that's got some sort of psychotropic elements to it as well. They are able to sort of establish the dominating market for cancer treatments here, and that's sort of where he's gained all his money and wealth from. He is basically...
He's betting all on Viviro.
Yes.
He's been the country's future economically, in its world standing, on being able to solve and have a good cure for cancer, a reliable source where you can constantly. And it's kind of amazing to me. That's Nobel Peace Prize winning stuff right there.
And right off the bat, he establishes that he is a force to be reckoned with through this performance. It's just a really good villain. I think probably one of the best we've seen in the franchise. And I just love that we're able to see that it's not just about the relationship of the protagonist and the antagonist here, but we also see it's about the relationship between Anton and his son Diego as well. And I think that's really important to show off as well, this sort of human aspect to this as well. And, you know, Ubisoft had stated that they didn't want to make this game political, but it's very clear to see here that the game has a lot of references to Cuba and even Argentina and stuff like that. So again, you know, there was a revolution happening in 1967 in Yara, and the people rose up and took down Gabriel Castillo, Anton Castillo's father, where they then put Anton in jail for about 13 years, where he was able to sit there and think about how he could rise to power and take over the country of Yara. And then now we have Dani Rojas here. They were an orphan. They were in the military, a conscript, but now they are the ultimate guerrilla fighter, and it's up to them. That's right. You can either play as male or female in this game to liberate sort of the country of Yara, unite the revolution, the libertads, bring them together so they can take down Anton. You know, and we have a really great cast of characters here. There's a lot of fun to be had. But yeah, Graham, what did you think of the story?
I think the story is really good, really standard, but it's more enriched, and that's because of these amazing characters. Like you have Clara Garcia, who's the leader of Libertad. You have this crazy Juan Cortez, who's your like inventor sort of guy who creates all your Resolver weapons, all your Supremo weapons, you know. And then you have like just a lot of other really notable people. El Tigre is one of them in the area of El Este that I really enjoyed as well. It just made this story a lot more believable, made me want to join in and really liberate this place a lot better because I'm invested. I'm invested emotionally with what's going on with these characters. You know, they catch my attention.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a part that adds to that is that they have brought back the third-person cutscenes. It gives you really a chance to connect with Dani. You're not really just this faceless canvas that you know, you've just been given to you. You are seeing how they are reacting to the situations around them, how they're creating relationships with the different characters in the game. And I mean, overall, I think it's definitely one of the strongest stories in the series. While though it is based in some reality, and I think it's great that they have this Latin American representation, sometimes I think it falls off because it becomes a little bit satirical and caricatures of these characters, you know, that we see in stereotypes in the media. I think that it's cool and I think it's powerful how you're rising up and you're liberating these like enslaved people of Yara. But then it's just really just becomes this joke of a thing when you're mowing down like FND army men with a disc gun that is playing the Macarena.
Yeah, it's
you know,
pretty.
I think that's really just
rocking the Ricky Martin bone over a couple people driving down the way at the checkpoint. It's like
there's chicken fights going on.
Yeah, chicken fights
like that.
Well, if that's what's going on, that's what's going on. But like it's it definitely there's lots of places where it really does shine through though the culture of Yara. Like I can think of one of the best times that I played in this game was playing dominoes.
Yeah,
you know, that felt legit. That felt cool.
Sure.
You know, I didn't get to play the Street Fighter Tekken 3 cockfights yet, but that seems like something that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, and then I mean, speaking on gameplay while we're here, you know, it's adding the elements, really sort of making you use your resources by adding in the Resolver weapons.
Yep.
And you're having weapons like the Tostador, which is a flamethrower. There's a firework gun, and even the Zucito, which fires an EMP, and that was a gun that I really enjoyed using, specifically to take out helicopters and whatnot. I found that the Zucito was a really great weapon for that. And you also have these Supremos, which are your backpack sort of things, and you're able to add mods to them. And you have some that fire poison and rockets and EMPs, and you're able to add buffs then to your characters through the different mods, which I think was really cool. You're able to now customize the different vehicles that you're riding around with. You can add sort of like big plows to them, different guns, different armor, which really adds to the traversal of the map as well. Makes it more fun. And there's also now a variety of enemies. I find when you're going into the different bases, you know, you're scouting and you're seeing enemies that are able to call for air support with flares, and you're now looking for different enemy types with different ammos that you need to take them out with. You know, you've got your armor-piercing rounds and your flesh-piercing rounds that you'll need to equip for different occasions. And with that being said, you know, with the crafting system, they really want you to utilize going around and playing with the different weapons like that. Although there is things like hunting in the game, it's not as necessary, where I know in previous Far Cry games to get different gear, you'd have to get a specific animal skin or something like that. No, in this game, there's just really metal and stuff like that kind of laid out.
Resource-based crafting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then something that I wanted to touch on too is sort of in terms of the level design. This game was very reminiscent to me of Ghost Recon Wildlands, where, you know, you're going through different regions and you're taking out kingpins that you're able to then draw out the main bad guy. And I do like that sort of mission structure. I do like how you have this giant map that you're able to go to whatever section you want to go to first and sort of take that person out in the way that you want to. And I know that we also played it very differently. You went to a different person at the beginning, and then I went to a different person at the beginning, and then we're still now trying to liberate two very different areas, and I think that was cool. And the fact that you have to unite them all as well is really an interesting aspect of the game. Another thing that I wanted to touch on too was that I really did feel like the whole user interface and gear system too of that was really a copy and paste template of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Odyssey, like the cursor system, all of that. I didn't play New Dawn, so I don't know if they had implemented it into that game earlier, but I know for this, yeah, I've got a lot of major vibes from AC Valhalla's menus in here as well. But yeah, what about you, Graham, for the gameplay?
I don't know, the gameplay I found to be classic and fun. You know, I felt like the guns were actually pretty good too as well. There's a big arsenal for you to choose from.
Yes.
From the AKs to the awesome Cold War era sort of submachine guns and rifles as well too. I really enjoyed just being able to kind of like prep my gear before I went somewhere and having access to that on the fly, like no matter what situation I'm in. It took a little bit of time switching between, so that's a little bit down, but it still was very good. That I could pull out my I chose the La Suppressa, which is like a mine rifle that shoots mines onto tanks or armor and stuff. So that was really good. One of the main ones I used as well. And just being able to kind of go from a urban sort of setting, these towns and cities, over to then run quickly into the jungles, really kind of amped up the gameplay where you could hide a lot more. So I felt myself feeling like a really tough like guerrilla where I can surprise, retreat back into the jungles, and then come back out again somewhere totally different. And that's good. That's thanks to like a lot of the trails and everything that's around too. There's lots of different modes of transportation to get around, and I think that greatly assisted gameplay. One of them that I feel is a little bit cheesy though is the airdrop. How you can airdrop from just about any of the fast travels. It's super helpful because Yara is so big, but it really kind of made me feel like I'm playing like Just Cause, to be honest, in first person. Yeah, you know, which is great. Another great game. And I like how they kind of helped me to find new ways to get around, the helicopters and all that. But it just made it feel like too much of something else I've done before.
Yeah, I know. And you're going around, you're taking down oil refineries, you're taking down artillery cannons and stuff like that. And it just feels like, yeah, you've done that before. But the part that I just really made me separate this was the fact that there is no skill tree. It's replaced with sort of the gear mod. So, I mean, I remember you were saying how I thought there was no ability to chain takedowns, machete takedowns together, and you're saying, oh yeah, you're able to do that if you just find like these pair of gloves that you're able to like add mods on or something like that. And I mean, I was just like, I like that it's there, but it didn't tell me that, so I didn't know that was. I just thought they took it out of the game. But yeah, I mean, you can play this whole game without really touching any of the mods and abilities that you can add on to your gear and stuff like that. I mean, I've been playing straight through just like a regular Far Cry title. I'm really just enjoyed the story, and I think that there are a lot of things that they added that I haven't really been utilizing as much. I mean, you're saying how you can go through the whole game with just that first.
You can go through the whole game with the M16.
Yeah, the MS whatever rifle. Yeah. Just throw a silencer on top of that, and you're good to go. But overall, I mean, it is a fun game. There are some elements that have been added to sort of refresh and invigorate the franchise, but it's not really doing it for me. I think we still have just a really good Far Cry game here, but at the end of the day, it's still just a Far Cry game.
Another Far Cry game? Well, you know what? Much as my exhaustion, like not exhaustion, but like I got kind of tired with the world of Assassin's Creed until Assassin's Creed, like, you know, Black Flag came out. This really kind of reinvigorated me because I'm down for the location, I'm down for the story, and I know the gameplay mechanics are just going to be tried and true, as in where it's not going to change. But you know what you're doing. And if you're down for Far Cry, this is a Far Cry for you. Yeah. You know, because there's a lot of Far Cry to go around, and you'll be able to play this for a good while. You know, for newcomers, it could be kind of daunting to hop in and then see how much you have to go around, or like how many things there are to do. But there's a lot of fun to be had here. I'd say I'm enjoying this. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah, and the game does look quite gorgeous. I mean, you have some of the best jungle settings I've seen in any game in a very long time. The lighting effects, the golden hour just really looks fantastic. I thought I was on a tropical vacation playing this game in front of my monitor for so long. I had to apply sunscreen. I was afraid I was going to get too crispy.
Montego.
Yeah, you know. Overall, I think that the graphics, they were a real powerhouse on PC. You need an absolute beast of a machine to run this at ultra settings. I have a 3070, so I was able to run it in 4K. You know, so it looked really good. Still, I know you were playing on PC, so the graphics comparison between both of them was at this point just not distinguishable. I think they both played very well. There were some cutscenes that I had where the frame rate dropped a little bit, but nothing too dramatic or drastic. And another thing that I wanted to praise Ubisoft for here was their accessibility options as well. Right off the bat, you're greeted with a large menu where you're able to tweak and fix things and able to play the way that you are most comfortable with, and I think that's really important. They've really been sort of pushing and leading the way on this for the last few titles they've released, and I think they need to keep it up because it's really good. I think it's important that everybody's able to play these brand new AAA titles, any game really. So I think that the options that they give you there were really great, especially coming off a title like Deathloop, where I was not even able to fix the subtitles. Here, there's plenty of options for you.
Subtitles are too big for me.
Yeah.
I had to shrink it back down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But overall, man, I really did enjoy Far Cry 6. Definitely my top game in the franchise. I did play 3. I really liked 4. I did like 5 as well because of the fact that they brought you to America in that one. But this game right here, it's got the great villain and amazing performance by Giancarlo Esposito. You've got the fantastic environment of Yara. It's full of vibrance. This game is very vibrant, and I do enjoy that. And I think that it is really definitely one that you should be playing if you're a fan of the franchise. With that being said, if I had to rate Far Cry 6, I would give it an 8 because it is a very fun FPS to play. There's lots of customization here for those people who want that added layer of depth to their first-person shooters. And again, you have a great story with a great cast of characters. And again, you've just got a great sandbox that you're able to run around, blow stuff up, create incredible experiences with different weapons and the different resolver weapons and the Supremos, really emphasizing here on using your resources and what you can get your hands on. And for that reason, I'm going to stick with an 8 for Far Cry 6, Graham. What about you?
Sounds good. And a lot of the same points as well, too. It's great to play. It brought me back to those good Far Cry 2 days for myself. Great world to run around in. Huge world, a lot to do, but a lot of the same. So for me, definitely it's going to be like 7.5, 8. I'll say 8.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. That has been our review of Ubisoft's Far Cry 6. It's out now, October 7th. So you can go get your hands on it. Again, thank you to the folks at Ubisoft Canada providing us with a copy of the game so we can review it for you. And if you like all this Far Cry 6 content, you can check out our first hour opening. We'll have that up for you as well. And we're definitely going to be streaming a bit more of this game on our Twitch, so stick around for that. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like these reviews and you like all this content, please be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. Sign up for the Patreon. Follow us on our socials. It means a lot to us, so we can also keep cranking out more of this content that you guys like.
You know?
So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. And do not forget.
Get it out. Shout at the rooftops. This is great. This is the bee's knees, item 9.
Item 9 gaming, guys. It's the bee's knees.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. And until next time, folks, we will see you all later.
But we will still talk every single night until they took his tongue for his lies to Yara.
Stop! Papa, stop this!